Hello and welcome to today's webinar, How to Automate Your Business to a More Efficient and Profitable 2018. I just screwed that sentence up, but that is okay. My name is David Morelli. I'm the Senior Vice President of Talent Development as well as Strategy here at PaySimple, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. So we're going to get a few quick details out of the way. The first one is that this webinar is being recorded as of Wednesday, February 28th, 2018. And secondly, we're going to have questions and answers at the end. Feel free to ask any of your questions as they occur to you, and you can use the chat box, which is in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, to do so. All right. So let me give you a quick little background about me, just so you know my reference point and what I'll be doing for this webinar. So I actually have a background in growing businesses myself. I've run a couple businesses and grown them from those early awkward stages where it's really difficult to up over $1 million in revenue per year. And I can tell you that there has never been a time when I loved doing repetitive tasks and tasks that wasted my time. So the point of today's webinar is really to help you learn how to automate your business and those processes that don't actually impact the real drive of your business that you have to touch them. We're going to give you those critical hours back in your day and help you grow your business and your revenue. So as I mentioned, I'm the Senior Vice President of Talent and Strategy here at PaySimple. And if you're not familiar with PaySimple, it's an all-in-one solution that basically helps you manage your business. It's for small and medium-sized businesses to help them accept payments and market services and help you retain customers as well. So we have over 17,000 businesses across the United States, and we're growing every day. And when people come on to the platform, we have this great customer success team, a management team that Maureen Mulvaney, she's actually presenting today as well, that when we ask our customers, hey, what are the things that matter to you most? The two things that we hear are, I need more time and I need more money. And so really today's webinar is about helping you do those things to create more time for yourself and to help you generate more money. So we have guest speakers. I'm really excited to introduce these two to you. They are phenomenal human beings as well as very knowledgeable. So let's dive in. So we have Erin Rosentowski-Lewis, who is the Director of Marketing at Guild Quality. Welcome, Erin.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Awesome. Would you mind telling us just a little bit about you and what Guild Quality is and what you guys do?
For sure, yeah. So I lead the marketing team here at Guild Quality, and Guild Quality works in the residential construction industry, helping home services professionals track and measure customer feedback in an automated way. And I am super excited to be here specifically talking about this topic because throughout my career, I've worked almost exclusively in small and medium-sized technology companies from the very early stages through accelerated growth. And what I've seen time and time and again is that automation in all different ways, right? It's not in one specific area of the business, but in all areas of the business, automation can really help you reach the next level. So I am super excited to be talking about this today with y'all.
Awesome. Excellent. And so we have our very own Maureen Mulvaney from the Customer Success Management team here at PaySimple. And I know that, Maureen, that you work with literally hundreds of businesses to help coach them through not only helping to automate their marketing and automate their payments as well, but you've got a pretty cool background even prior to PaySimple as well. So would you mind sharing a little bit about you and your perspective?
Sure. Thank you, David. Yeah, I have a background in sociology and marketing from Loyola University Chicago, and I previously served as the marketing and operations manager for a small to medium-sized event staffing company. And while I was doing that, I actually produced an award-winning blog. So in my experience, I definitely know what it's like to wear a lot of hats, and I found a lot of time-saving tricks and efficiencies along the way, which has kind of forayed into my role here at PaySimple as a customer success manager. My daily mission is to essentially empower business owners to do what they love and ensure the success of their business along the way. So I specialize in onboarding our top customers, but my favorite part of that is sharing best practices for bringing efficiency to their businesses. And that's usually most often from payment automation and just operational automation in general, so they can put more time back in their day.
That's awesome. Thanks. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this being a dialogue and finding out just all the nuggets that you can share with those who are joining us. I think this is going to be a great experience. So let's dive in. So here's what we're going to cover today. First, why the heck should we automate? I think you have a sense of that already. But we're going to talk about marketing automation and how you can save time and convert the interest that people have in your business to actual revenue. We're going to talk about customer feedback because this is an area where you want to hear what your customers have to say, and in so doing, you don't want to have that be a time suck, and it's a balance, a delicate balance between those. So Erin is going to help us dive into that. And then we'll be talking about collecting payments even while you're sleeping because it is a lot better to get paid when you don't have to be sitting there and actively interacting with the customers. It's better to have that just work for you. And then, as I mentioned at the end, we'll have a question and answer. And we also have some special offers from PaySimple and from Guild Quality to get started, to find out what this is all about, if this is going to work for you. And we have ways for you to start for free. So you can check that out if you'd like as well. So let's dive into why automate. Here's the thing that I love this quote, and this quote basically says that 20% of your time you can actually get back. So whether it's you're paying somebody to do tasks or you're doing them yourself, maybe into the late hours of the night, and you're like, oh my God, I'd rather be with my kids or drawing a bath or whatever you do in the evening time, this is really about getting you your time back. And so you could save 20% of your employee's salary or your own time and energy by automating. So I think that's a fantastic why behind it. Actually, I believe this number is low, having been in the experience myself, and we have some other quotes coming up that will kind of shed some light on that as well. So here's what you can automate. If you think about it, there's three categories that really make the most sense. One is the task repetitive? Right? So do you do the same thing over and over and over again? Well, if you do, you don't need to put your creative life force into that. Automate the thing that's repetitive. You've already figured it out. You already know how to do it. So have something do it for you. I think that's number one. Number two is, does it have a lot of steps? And if you can take away the steps that you have to go through, it's not only you're releasing a cognitive load that it's like you have to remember this order or this sequence, but do those steps have something else do it for you rather than you have to do it. And the last one, which I love, is we're all human. Just like I started out the audio saying the wrong title, right? We all have errors that we make in moments, so you may as well remove the human error element from things like marketing or payments or the customer feedback or whatever. It's how many times have we had an inbox that's just too deep and we forget something. It's like, darn it, and I forgot. And that usually has an impact on the business. Either it has an impact on how much you're charging or whether you're charging people. Sometimes it has a relationship impact where somebody doesn't feel followed up with because you were doing other things. So the more that you can take away the things that you don't need to be doing, you can become brilliant at the things that only you can do, right? Likely if you're on this call and on this webinar, you have a certain capability, a certain way of adding value to a business and other people's lives, that's what you should be doing, not that you should be doing the stuff that a computer could do, right? So let's continue on here. So like I mentioned, there are the main topics: marketing, customer feedback, and accepting payments. Here's a few statistics relative to those. Again, I think these are relatively low, but 33% of your time doing repetitive tasks in marketing. Only 25, I think this is great, Erin is going to expand on this, but only 25% of your customers actually tell you when they have an issue. which means that if you have a system that can capture more people on the positive end and on the negative end, the feedback end, to help you improve, so much the better, right? And then accepting payments, I mean, most people spend a lot of time. I know, like, this was an area where it was just like, ugh, not only did I spend time there, I really didn't want to spend time there. I wanted to spend time not on accepting payments, but rather with the people that I was accepting payments from. And that's how you can actually grow your business, is to automate these types of things. So without further ado, we're gonna jump in and have a bit of a poll for you to just tell us, what are the repetitive tasks that you dread most? So if you have that up on your screen, you can probably see it. Just click a button. Which of these do you do most? And the numbers are rolling in, which is kind of always fun to see. I know for me, yeah, I think what seems to be the winner right now is collecting payments. That seems to be the major pain point. Marketing is up there. Surveying customers is up there. If I'm similar to you, I had forgotten that I should really be surveying my customers more often, because that's actually the feedback loop that tells me how I should be marketing, or how I could make their lives better, or what other services I could offer, those kinds of things. So those things will come out through surveying customers. So yeah, this is great. So it sounds like the bulk of people, it's payment collections. After that is marketing, and then surveying customers. So thank you so much for voting, because I think that'll help shape the conversation. So let's go ahead and dive in. First, Maureen is up. She's going to be sharing with us automation techniques to help convert that interest into revenue. So Maureen, you're up.
Yeah, okay. So marketing seems to be a little bit of a headache for our audience today, but I think we can all agree it's an essential part of having a small to medium-sized business. And I want to talk about why that is first and foremost. The reasons I would say that are most important are that, A, it informs your potential buyers you exist. It helps you build and maintain relationships with customers and potential customers. It also helps you stay competitive. And it's ultimately going to drive sales, which are going to help you ensure the future of your business. Like I said, all essential business functions, but you are one person, you have limited resources, so it's imperative that we get some automation in place. The first real headache, I guess I hear, one of the main ones when it comes to marketing with the accounts I work with, the small to medium-sized businesses, is that social media, having a presence and also having an active blog, is distracting and time-consuming. You're toggling between feeds, you're replying to different comments, you're posting content. It takes focus away from running your day-to-day. That's just how it is. The solution, I would say, is working smarter, not harder, and definitely not longer. You don't have a lot of time. So I want to start by talking about how you can, first and foremost, time block, and then let automation tools do the rest of it for you. Not only do my top accounts use these tools that I'm about to speak about a little bit, PaySimple actually uses them. So hopefully that will speak to how great of tools they are. So I want to first start talking about time blocking. So my recommendation is to set aside an hour every Sunday or one day during the week to plan out your posts for the week or the month or an extended period of time. And then you can let these tools step in and do the rest for you while you're running your business. My first favorite tool is Hootsuite. I love this one. It's a social media management tool, and it allows you to follow hashtags, follow trends, follow your favorite key content creators, and carry out conversations with all of your followers across multiple platforms at once in one view. And it's also going to auto-schedule posts for you based on the times that your audience is most engaged. So you're going to really be having real conversations in real time without having to take away too much time from your day-to-day. You can really take those social media posts that you're planning out in advance to the next level by utilizing a tool like Canva. This is a free graphic design tool, and anybody you talk to who uses this absolutely loves it. Our content marketing manager here at PaySimple, she is like Canva's #1 fan. It's a
That's
design
awesome.
tool. It has multiple. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, wow. So I know for a lot of people, like design is not why they started their business, right? Like if I started an accounting business or I started an acupuncture business or whatever, like, yeah, making graphic design and this stuff easier is huge. So I'm really glad that you're covering this. So sorry to interrupt. I was just like, oh wow, that's huge for making your brand look good, right? Because that's a hard part of marketing.
I absolutely agree, and it's essential. You need to grab that attention with something that's visually appealing. It doesn't matter what platform you're using, which is why Canva is great, because it actually has templates that are pre-sized for various content platforms. So whether it's email headers or a Facebook post, Instagram, it's going to ensure that you're not taking up too much space. It's going to fit perfectly in the feed, and it's going to look really sharp and nice. So you can essentially just grab an image of you working out in the field, or a stock image and your logo, and you can throw it together in a template and have a custom branded graphic. And it's going to look like you professionally outsourced it, but you did it in 5 minutes in a coffee shop. It's a really cool tool.
Great. Wow.
Yeah. So my third favorite tool is Meet Edgar. So once you've spent this initial time investment creating your content, you're going to want to really make sure that it's been worth your while. I mean, time is valuable. So, if you've put together some blog posts or carefully curated a list of blog posts that are relevant to your industry and what your customers or potential customers are talking about, Meet Edgar is going to allow you to get as many eyes on those posts as possible in perpetuity. So what it's going to do is recycle those updates you've already created by reposting them time and again over a series of posts over time. And they'll never go to waste. You'll get a lot of views. You'll get a lot of traction from those posts. And you won't get stuck spending time rescheduling those posts or refilling that content. It's gonna do it for you. The benefit.
So for that one, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So for that one, what I'm interested in is, so you have to probably write your content that it can be what's called evergreen, right? Like it can be used rather than like, hey, by the way, did you see that news, blog or article or whatever, like this most recent story that's today, right? So it's probably stuff about your business that doesn't change that you'd feed through Meet Edgar versus like you're responding to something that just happened in the news, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a great example of that would be the top 5 reasons you should XYZ type posts. You see them all over the place.
Right.
And that's a perfect example of one of those evergreen posts that you could recycle that are going to constantly be relevant to the pain points of your audience.
Maureen, do you feel like today businesses need to be more content driven than they used to be? Because I know some people have had businesses for a long time, and it seems like that's a trend, but I'd love your perspective on that.
Absolutely. I think it is. I think that having an online presence and posting content kind of puts you in the position where you are a thought leader in your industry, and that kind of ties back into just building credibility for your brand.
Right. So you don't want to just go to anybody who can hang up a shingle. You want to go to somebody who has something thoughtful to say in your space, in whatever service they're looking for. They're like, hey, I want to go with the best person, the thought leader, versus just anyone.
Absolutely, and I think it kind of ties back to those initial main reasons you should be marketing in general. And having content out there, especially out on social media or a blog, it creates an interactive space for your customers and potential customers to reach out to you. It makes you more approachable.
Awesome. Thanks. That's great. I'm looking forward to seeing what you have next.
Yeah. All right. So ideally, all of these efforts you're putting into social media and blogging are going to build awareness for your business and generate leads for you. So the engagement you're drumming up through this content posting and automation that we kind of just went over is going to ultimately drive traffic to your website. So maybe you have a contact form on your blog that lands you an email subscription list. This is a golden golden list. These are leads for you, and now what you need to do is nurture those leads. So send them personalized communication. You can send them promotions, anything relevant that's going to keep you top of mind, so that they'll eventually convert to customers or future sales. The problem therein lies. It's really unrealistic to hold a conversation with all of your existing customers, let alone any prospective sales when you're running your business and building your business. So that's where trigger-based marketing automation is going to come into play. You can tie all of this together with devising drip campaigns. So drip marketing is a communication strategy that sends pre-written communications to customers and or prospects over a series of time, and it's often activity-based or activity-triggered. And this is usually done over email. And if you set it up properly, much like content creation, it can be totally automated. I recommend tools like MailChimp and or Constant Contact to start for small to medium-sized businesses. Those are great tools. Much like social media and blogging, the benefit here is that it can be accomplished in a single time block. So go spend an afternoon in a coffee shop or at your home office, block out any distractions, and you can create this content and essentially let it run in the background, freeing up a lot of time and resources for you if you just make that initial time investment. Another great benefit is that...
Sorry. So I was going to say, I realize there's a little bit of a time delay, so I apologize if we're talking at the same time. But so one of these might be like, hey, you have a special offer, right? Like, so you get 20% off of whatever. You send it out through the email list, and somebody, let's say, who clicks on the link that might take them to the page, but let's say they didn't buy, you could say, just a reminder, the 20% offer ends at whenever, right? So you could sort of segment, or like based on people's actions, you can give them different messages. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are great examples. Some examples I would say is even just, I mean, you can keep it very simple. Somebody signs up for your blog subscription list, you give them a welcome aboard message, or maybe your customer hits their 1-year anniversary in coming to you for business, and you say thanks for your loyalty and give them a promo code. Or maybe you have customers that have kind of fallen off and you want to give them a gift to get them re-engaged and back in the door. All of those are really great ways to implement this strategy. And at the end of the day, what it's going to do is give your business the ability to give a polished and personal touch to all of your customers and all of your potential customers without distraction or disruptions in your day-to-day workflow.
Awesome. Great. Thank you.
So now that you've built all of this awareness and engagement with your drip marketing and your social media engagement, your blog engagement, how are you going to tie that all together and maximize it so you can generate revenue? And it's a really simple answer. You need to let your customers sell for you. As a business owner, you love what you do, and that absolutely will shine through in all of your customer interactions. And what all of those positive customer experiences that you're creating is doing is creating advocates for your brand. So I am sure you have a ton of these, and they're priceless resources, and they can sell for you. And this is automation in its purest form. It's awesome. But you really do want to track where those leads are coming from. And I would say the best way to do this, there are a few ways. Set up a killer referral program. So offer a kickback to those who are spreading the word about your business. You can do this with discount codes or promo offers. I would also, offer these to people who are coming in through various social media channels. That's another great way to see how somebody was referred to you through, any of the marketing efforts you've been putting in place. One of the main benefits.
Right, I was going to say it's a little bit of like you can see the trail of here are your efforts and here's what came of those efforts. So you can sort of do the return on investment loop, like, oh, okay, I've been investing my time in social media and look, it's paying off. Or, wow, my referrals are actually way stronger than some of the content that I've been putting out. Maybe I should do some content about the referrals, right? Or something like, right? So you can start piecing things together to really drive your business.
Yes, absolutely. And that's really just going to add efficiency to the investment that you're putting in the future when you're creating these campaigns. Definitely.
That's great.
Yeah, discount codes and promotion codes are totally trackable, so you're going to be able to measure the success of what you've already been doing. The other cool thing about them is that they can be time-bound, so they can create a sense of urgency for those potential customers who are, on the fence about making that initial purchase or coming into your location. Kind of gets them to cross the line. And you can also put limited use caps on them. So that's really going to protect your bottom line, but also get new customers in the door. Lowering barrier to entry has had a ton of success across accounts I've worked with, particularly in the health and wellness space. So for example, a gym or a chiropractor. New client specials are a great way to get people in the door so you can, again, really show your stuff, give them that awesome customer experience, generate more advocates. So for example, 75% off your first month of group fitness classes, or maybe a chiropractor offers a discounted new patient adjustment. Referral kickbacks are also awesome, just kind of circling back to that. They really make your customers feel appreciated, and you're giving them positive reinforcement for those things that they're already doing, which are spreading the word about your business and selling for you. So an example, PaySimple actually does this. We pay people who refer us customers $200. There's a $200 referral bonus, which is really cool, and the best customers are those that are referred. So those are going to be your sticky customers. Really reinforce that behavior.
That's awesome. I know we get a chance to hear from you again, which is great. I think if it's all right with you, we will go into the customer feedback, right? So once you get them in the door, then you're going to have actual feedback from your customers, which is great. So Erin, we're going to kick it over to you to see how can we automate this part of hearing from our customers. So over to you.
Well, thank you, David. And so much of what Maureen shared, particularly in that last bit, really feeds into what I'm going to talk about, because it is very important for you to automate the what I would call the rest of the customer experience. So after that cash drawer closes or after you've processed that payment, the journey does not end there. So Maureen alluded to this. Those past customers, especially those happy ones, are really an incredible selling tool for your future customers. So like dream scenario is your 10 happiest customers who had an awesome experience with you go out and they tell 10 people they know and they tell 10 people they know, and then you have this like amazing network of positive influence. And that's essentially what the internet has become for a lot of businesses today. But that is really a double-edged sword, right? Because as easy as it is to tell about how amazing an experience was, it is just as easy to talk about how terrible an experience was. So that is where someone like us, Guild Quality, comes in. We can help you take control of that online reputation by giving you easy ways to proactively, automatically reach out to your clients, gather feedback, and continue that cycle of the customer journey. So I'm going to talk to you about 6 tips to help you work towards this nirvana state of automated feedback collection.
I love that, nirvana.
And so
yeah, that's great.
So first, I just want to kind of share a phrase, define a phrase for you, the reputation economy. All of us are operating in it, whether we know it or not. This action of turning to the internet to check out online reviews or feedback from other past clients before you make a purchase, like this whole thing is operating in the reputation economy. So when you are taking strangers' feedback to make a buying decision, it's kind of different than what maybe our parents' generation did when they asked friends or colleagues about what to do. They're considering making a purchase or remodeling their home, like really big things. Now people rely on the feedback of strangers. And so a lot of those recommendations Maureen spoke about are really going to help you boost your online reputation, and so is customer feedback. So my first recommendation for you, establish your baseline. When we're done here, if you have never done this, go Google your business. What is out there about you? What have past customers said? Also go to specific review sites or listing sites that are specific to your industry. So in my industry, for example, in the construction home services industry, our customers and our customers' customers are using tools like Guild Quality, House, Angie's List, etc., to leave feedback and then go look for feedback to make decisions about working with someone. So go out there, see what's out there about you. Okay, second recommendation, open up these channels. Make it varied. So the reason I say this is you want to have a bunch of different ways for people to connect with you, to provide feedback to you, because your customers are so different, right? Demographics, experience, comfort level with technology, all of those things are going to dictate how someone provides feedback to you. So having all these different outlets for customers to speak up is really going to encourage more communication and more feedback. So a lot of things are going to, a lot of maybe your industry specific sites you can go ahead and create a profile on. Definitely Google business page, Yelp business page, stuff like that. And even social media. Facebook, there's a post a review feature on Facebook. Make sure that all of that is active and out there. And then kind of super obvious, but I'm going to say it because I see it sometimes, put your phone number on your website. And if you have a contact us form, like a contact us page, and you've got those boxes and someone's going to fill out and give you a question, sometimes people don't actually have anyone on the receiving end of that. Make sure someone is there to respond to it. Make a good impression. So you've done those things. My third recommendation is embrace the bad. Embrace the negative feedback that might come and really probably is guaranteed to come your way when you open up yourself to being reviewed. Negative feedback is not a bad thing necessarily. It gives you ways that you could improve. And really, savvy consumers can kind of sniff out a crazy, when someone has left a review that seems a little off. People can tell, so don't worry about that kind of stuff. But embrace the negative constructive feedback because it's going to give you opportunities to improve or just provide teachable moments that you can bring back to your team and make everybody better. Now, here's on this. Yeah.
So, sorry, I was going to say, I love that because I know when I was growing my business, I was terrified that somebody would not love the dream that I had or right. Believe in what I was doing. So there's almost like when you have a business, there's an element of doubt, like, am I crazy for starting this thing? Or like, is this actually a good idea? And sometimes the fear of a negative review can actually hold back what would be a tidal wave of positive reviews and positive momentum. And like you're saying, it also gives an opportunity for you to respond or to become aware of things that you weren't aware of. Like, oh, I didn't realize that if I didn't send a thank you note or something, I'm just making it up, but if I didn't send a thank you note that impacts people. Or I didn't realize that I shouldn't have that ugly statue sitting right next to where people come in. And like, whatever it is, it's you can learn from it. And I think that's a key element that I've seen successful businesses adapt, and they don't just adapt from the good stuff. They adapt from both sides, and then over time, the better you become, that's the better experience each new person has coming in. And so without feedback, you're kind of sunk. From my perspective, you'll age out, you'll be disconnected from your customers, and that really does hit the bottom line. So I love this as a revenue as well as a customer experience sort of leverage point.
Right. And sometimes the only thing that matters is how your customers perceive you. You could be like, I do the best job ever. But if they don't agree, that's what matters. So my fourth recommendation here is to, again, save time and automate this process. Create some templates for quick responses, because you're not going to control what people say about you, and you're opening yourself up to be vulnerable, but you can control how you respond to it. So best practice, you should always respond to a public review, publicly respond to that public review. Definitely when it's bad, maybe also when it's good. It shows great interaction. It shows you're a real, authentic business. And honestly, it shows future customers that your business at least attempts to resolve an issue. And I'm emphasizing the word attempt because many businesses don't even make the attempt. So simply showing that you make the attempt goes really far with future customers. And then I said establish your baseline, go ahead and see what's out there. Some of these, you might find a review that's been out there for a while and you might think, oh, should I respond to it? Go ahead and respond to it. But best practice is try to respond within 24 hours, even when someone just looks super crazy. But here's a quick tip on how not to respond. Someone might be super immature or just completely false in what they've said, but don't respond in kind. Don't be immature. Don't pick at what they've said and say that's wrong. You didn't do that. We didn't do that. Just be super polite, non-defensive. Say thank you so much. We're going to reach back out and address this. Take it offline. And again, a quick tip on being automated and saving time, create a couple templates, especially if you have kind of delegated responsibility throughout your team to have folks respond to these things out there on the internet. You don't want like a rogue employee going out there and making a crazy kind of back and forth he said, she said on the internet. So create some templates. It's going to help you save time.
That's great.
So now you've got a bunch of channels set up. You've opened up your arms to people to provide their feedback, but maybe you're hearing crickets or maybe you're only hearing from the extremes. So my next recommendation is be proactive in getting that feedback. You really have to reach out and ask for it. And this is, again, another opportunity where automation is going to save you tons of time. Obviously, Guild Quality does that, but there are some really other, some cheap, easy DIY kind of solutions like a Google form or services like SurveyMonkey. They're going to help you proactively reach out. And the reason I think this is important is because in general, people are non-confrontational. I know that I do not want to confront a business owner, especially with something that doesn't seem like that big of a deal. So like I went to a restaurant, my meal was fine. It wasn't amazing, but I may not go back actually. So I'm not going to tell the business owner why, that my bread was not toasted dark enough to my liking. I mean, that seems silly, right? But you want that feedback as a business owner. So consider a proactive reach out that is non-confrontational, that is from a third party, to make people feel more comfortable about saying, actually, I'm super picky and I like my toast real toasty, So depending on your business specifically, maybe you interject this throughout the job or throughout the time that the customer is engaged with you. Like our customers are doing long-term whole house remodels, right? They might touch base with customers throughout so that they can hear, hey, you didn't wear shoe protective covers in my house. That, again, not a huge deal, but goes a long way to shaping my experience. Or if your business is a little more transactional, like you just quick thing, consider asking for feedback a day or two after the conclusion of that transaction. But here's my next recommendation. You might be telling me, hey, I don't have time or resources to create a full-blown survey, this whole process. So my recommendation is you have one thing that you should find out, if nothing else. You need to know how likely are they to recommend your company to a friend or colleague. And in kind of marketing speak, there's something called NPS, which is Net Promoter Score. This is something you can calculate based on the answers to that question, your recommendation question. And you can track this over time. So after you've started to collect feedback and calculate your NPS score, and you start to see, oh, if I just toasted bread a little bit more, you're going to start to see that NPS score change as you continue gathering feedback.
That's awesome. Great.
And it looks like we have a quick poll here.
We do. So are you looking for a better way to collect customer feedback? If you feel like, I need a better way, I'm not hearing nearly the amount that I could be or should be hearing, then hit yes. Otherwise, hit no. So it looks like as things are rolling in, 2/3 of people are now realizing, gosh, I really do need a better way to collect customer feedback. So that is awesome. So let's go on. I know you have one more topic. And,
yeah. Okay. So summing it all up, I gave you some recommendations, some tips for taking control of your online reputation and automating a customer follow-up process, and then using that customer feedback to improve. But you might be saying, Erin, you added like 25 things to my to-do list. How is that an efficient thing? So what I would recommend doing is take some time, research in your industry. Is there some kind of tool out there that's going to give you an end-to-end solution like Guild Quality does that can automatically reach out to clients, collect that feedback, calculate your NPS, highlight trends, etc.? We are specific to one industry. I'm sure there are things in your industries if you're not in ours. And then if not, baby step your way to it. Get yourself a Google account, create some forms, track stuff in a spreadsheet, and you're going to go a long way.
That is awesome. Thank you, Erin. That was very, very helpful. So now we'll have Maureen jump back in around collecting payments, because I know that's what you help customers get up and running doing, Maureen, for PaySimple. So let's go ahead and see how we can address the potentially most important function of the business, automating getting paid.
Yes, it kind of goes back to what you originally said, which is business owners care the most about saving time and getting paid, and automating payments is the number one way to do that. The first thing that I really hear or sense a lot of anxiety about is not being able to man the phones at all times. A call can essentially make or break getting paid if you don't have an automated payment system in place. And I definitely understand that anxiety, and I understand if you don't want to let it go. I understand if you want to answer the phone too. But, having to do that creates a feeling of distraction. You might not be as present with clients, and it definitely leaves you feeling like you don't have enough hours in the day. The first solution I'd recommend is offering the ability to accept payments online. And offering e-commerce is a really great way to open up your cash flow. It's a game changer. So an online storefront is going to showcase your offerings online. So it's not only going to give you a way to collect payments when you're not able to answer the phone, it's going to market your services for you and essentially convert leads into sales without requiring much of your attention, if any. And there's also no geographical limitation when you're selling your services or products online, and there is very, very minimal overhead, which is another huge benefit.
Right.
You can also keep your business open 24/7, which is another thing to think about. So you can essentially collect payments in your sleep. As hokey as that sounds, it's true. You're generating sales outside of business hours, and that's maybe when your customers are more engaged. So I would just recommend doing this because you can empower your customers or your potential customers to spend money on their own time and not feel like they're restricted to the business hours you have posted online or when you're actually in the office manning your phone.
That's great. Yeah, I love the idea of collecting money, when you don't have to be there. You can go pick up the kids, or you can go run an errand or take a meeting or go to lunch with somebody, and you're not going to be jeopardizing cash flow to your business if you have a way of having it on the website or online, as well as all kinds of other stuff that I know you're going to dive into.
Yes, I mean, you touched on it. It gives you freedom to run your business, but it also gives you freedom to have a personal life too. Offering e-commerce, like a plug-and-play out-of-box solution, much like what PaySimple offers, it allows you to be open for business before you even have a storefront or website. So that's going to allow you to kind of proactively open up that cash flow stream so you can fuel the growth plans you have in place and expand the way that you want to in order to kind of let your business grow to its fullest potential.
Awesome.
Yes. So another thing that is just a game changer, it's so magical, especially for a lot of the accounts I work with, is recurring automatic billing. Business owners, particularly those who need to accept payments on a recurring basis, like gyms or child care services, schools, lawn care, you name it, if you have monthly recurring receivables, business owners need to get paid. period. They can't continue to chase and remind customers for services, to pay for services that have already been rendered while providing those services and keeping their business operating. You just can't waste that time, and you definitely can't waste time going to the bank each month, let alone dealing with the anxiety and reality of bounced checks. So the solution I recommend is, without a doubt, recurring automatic payments, which are followed by automatic deposits. They're the ultimate solution for any business with ongoing services. You can collect payment information up front. This is something that I recommend my accounts do. The small to medium-sized businesses I work with who have recurring receivables, I say, offer it as a convenience to your customers. That's going to lead back to that great customer experience that they might speak to in online reviews. But make it part of your onboarding process. Insert a recurring payment authorization as a part of, your new client sign-up process. Maybe cash and check just are not an option. That will guarantee this automatic recurring cash flow.
Here's another interesting. Here's another interesting idea that I've seen people implement is, hey, if my business isn't set up for recurring types of services, maybe you set it up that way, right? So a chiropractor, let's say, might go from a model of, cool, whenever they feel like their back is out, come on in, to an ongoing wellness plan where every month, you have a pre-scheduled service and maybe you discount it 10% or 20% just to be on that recurring wellness plan. But if you think about it, you could create predictability to cash flow, which is different than, oh gosh, I hope the phone rings this month, right? And so it takes a stress away if you have a system to be able to accept payments in a way that could help you grow or build your business and your cash flow.
Absolutely. And to take that a step further, actually, it helps seasonal businesses survive. So if you've got that recurring stream, it's going to provide you a solid bottom line. That's going to help you weather seasonality. So maybe you experience slow periods during holiday months. That's pretty standard, right? If you have a base of recurring clients, that's going to offer that stable cash flow you're mentioning. So you'll have a steady stream year-round, and that'll give you the flexibility and security you need to sustain your business and focus on growth. One analogy I kind of like to draw is, think about it this way. What if Netflix didn't offer auto debit as the only option? They would absolutely have a customer retention problem. If you had to send a check to Netflix every single month when you received a bill from them, you would definitely question if you actually needed their services. So, if I received a bill, I would be asking myself, do I really need to watch 3 seasons of Orange is the New Black this month? I mean, the answer is maybe yes, but probably no. And regardless, you don't want to make your customers think about spending money. That's uncomfortable, and it could eventually lead to them questioning your value proposition on a monthly basis. So if that's your current mode of operation, you're honestly putting yourself at risk on a monthly basis for losing customers. Regardless if they like and value your services or not, they're going to be asked to question that if they receive a bill, rather than just having that automatic debit run in the background. And honestly, customers really do like the convenience of an auto debit. It removes the anxiety of having to pay bills on time. That's an icky feeling you don't want to associate with your business. It's going to happen in the background of their busy lives, just like it's going to happen in the background of your busy life. And so they're going to appreciate that. And a bonus add-on is that they might even appreciate that it's paperless. That's a really nice thing to associate with your brand.
That's awesome. I know we have another customer poll as well, or a webinar poll here. So how are you currently collecting payments? So are you doing it manually, or collecting it in person over the phone, or accepting payments online? We'd love just to get, as we sort of are wrapping this up, I know you have one more piece of content here, Maureen, and that might be able to help inform this next talking point. So it looks like most of you are doing it all across the board. So you're doing it manually by yourself, you're collecting it in person and or over the phone, as well as have online. So it looks pretty spread, like a third. So That's great. It sounds like everybody's like, yes, I will take money any way you can give it to me, and that's probably smart. So all right, let's go on to the next one.
Yes, I would say it looks like a lot of people are either manually billing each month or collecting payments over the phone. So recurring billing might not be suitable for your business, but I do want to point out that you can still automate payments even if you have recurring monthly receivables that are variable in price, or you have one-time services. You're definitely not excluded from the automation piece. A lot of businesses like accounting or legal services that we work with here at PaySimple, they have recurring clients, but the bills are different each time. Or you're having one service rendered and you just need to collect a payment for it. So you're sending these bills and your services are already rendered. And as your customer base kind of grows, you're not going to have time to chase down those overdue payments for services you've already completed. And not to mention, it's negatively impacting your cash flow, but you really don't want to have that awkward conversation with your clients. Again, that's going to lead to a kind of an icky feeling associated with your business and your brand. So if you let an automated electronic billing system like PaySimple, for instance, kind of do the dirty work for you, it's going to hold your customers accountable without you having to necessarily step in and interfere. You can just consider automatically adding late fees or incentivize one-time payments. Those are really great ways to collect those payments and have it automated for you in the background. The main benefit of enrolling an electronic invoicing system would be that it'll send automatic payment reminders for you. So again, you don't have to do that. No awkward conversations. No asking, where's my money? Electronic payments are also so much faster than waiting for checks in the mail, than driving to the bank and again hoping that those checks clear when you get there. That can literally, and I've seen it happen with multiple accounts who've come to us over the time that I've been here, it adds weeks to the already delayed payment, the payment process. So that's just slowing down cash flow exponentially. To add on top of that, I would say that customers are going to thank you, much like recurring billing, recurring auto debits. If you're paperless and convenient with a polished, branded, user-friendly invoice, all they have to do is click Pay Now. Then they enter their payment information, or if they've made a payment with you already, they might have a profile. They don't even have to enter those payment details again, and they make a payment. That's going to save them a trip to the bank. And who's really carrying checks anymore? Let's be real. If you're gonna write a check to somebody, you're gonna have to go get it printed at the bank. So don't make your customers do that. I actually work with a nonprofit dog rescue, and they've started using electronic invoicing for adoption fees. So once they receive payment, which has become a lot quicker with the automated invoicing and payment reminders, they receive funds really quickly, so they're able to get the dogs all of the necessary medical treatment they need before they put them into their new homes and finalize the adoption. So they've been super grateful for this new streamlined process because A, their cash flow is faster, which is empowering them to save more animals and do what they love and place all of those animals in safe homes and on to the next one so they can continue their mission.
That's so great. Maureen, thank you so much. We have a little bit of time for questions. Just a reminder, you can put them into the chat function down in the lower left-hand corner. In addition to the questions that we have time for right now, we'll actually be doing a follow-up blog post. So that's paysimple.com/blog about more automation tips and things. So the great content that you are getting, we will continue to make sure that we answer your questions. So let's see if we have any questions for right now. Great. So, and I know we don't have a whole lot of time for this section, but Maureen, how about chasing customers for missing payments in a subscription service? Like how do you automate getting paid when a transaction fails for any myriad of reasons?
That's a great question. One thing I recommend is, it kind of ties back to that having an online way to accept payments in general. A lot of businesses who have that recurring service subscribe to notifications when payments fail. And in PaySimple, you house basic customer information like email address, just at the most basic level. You can obviously house a lot more than that, but that will allow you to have contact information on hand. You can shoot an email to that client letting them know, hey, your payment failed, and then you can direct them to your website where you might have a Pay Now button. And they could re-enter that payment with a new card. Another thing that automated payment systems like PaySimple do is remind customers when a card is about to expire. This is hugely important for businesses who have recurring services. It's going to give customers a 30-day notice, letting them know, hey, your credit card's about to expire. That's actually a great just kind of perk for customers in general. I would love to know when my credit card's about to expire because that's going to impact a lot of things, but it's also going to remind them to update the card information on file.
Awesome. Thank you. So Erin, one quick question for you, and then the rest we'll field again on the blog. If your customer doesn't respond the first time, how many times should you send a survey, and how long should you wait in between?
Yeah, great question. I think sometimes it depends on either the type of work you did or the length of the time of the job or the size of the transaction. You may not want to spend a lot of time chasing down a really low ticket job, right? So maybe you follow up 3 times, and it depends if you're following up by phone or email or what. So if you're kind of DIYing it, you're probably just doing email. 3 emails over the course of like a month is a good time span. Our system is kind of optimized for when an email follows a call, follows the mail, etc. So we're reaching out over the course of 60 days by email, by phone, and by mail.
That's awesome. Great. Thank you. And again, we will be following it up with paysimple.com/blog and answering all of the rest of your questions. We promise that we have some special stuff for you here at the end. So one of those is for PaySimple, and I'll just share. I've been here for a little over 4 years, and PaySimple has been around for more than 10 years. And really, the people who are here just eat, sleep, and live, how can I make other people's lives better? And it's really the driving mission behind it is to help you do what you love doing more often. And so that's why we take away some of those time-consuming and error-prone activities to help you streamline your business, make it more automatic, get paid more often, help you manage your customers, etc. So if you're interested in PaySimple and you're like, hey, I would love some of that stuff, feel free to go to paysimple.com/free trial. It's 14 days. You can try it out, see how it would fit with your business, see how it would integrate with your online presence, or play around. You don't have to put in a credit card. It's totally on us. We just want you to have an experience to help you save more time and help you, again, do what you love. So that's kind of what we're all about. And I know, Erin, that you have something as well.
Yeah. Well, being in the business of customer satisfaction, it's very important to us that folks who use us are satisfied with our service. So we offer everybody a chance to try it out for free. I encourage you, if you do something in the home, provide a service in someone's home, go ahead and check out Guild Quality. If you go to guildquality.com/tour, you can see the link here on your screen. You can sign up for a free trial of our service, and we can see if it's a fit.
That is awesome. So I want to say for both of you, thank you for joining us, Erin and Maureen, and for all of you who you took time out of your day, and this is your business, and hopefully this time you leverage into saving you way more than an hour that you spent here with us, and that you really take whatever content that was meaningful to you from this and actually implement it. It doesn't matter if you learned about this stuff. It's the stuff that you implement that will save you the time and energy and money and help you do, again, what you love. So if there's a next step that you thought oh, I've got to make sure to do that, make sure to do it and see if you can act on it within the next 24 hours because that's when it's going to be most readily available sort of from your mental perspective as to why you're going to do it. So Again, thank you so much for being here. It is our absolute pleasure to have hosted this, and hopefully you got a lot out of it. If there's any, again, we will, if there's any questions that you didn't get answered, we will follow up with paysimple.com/blog. We'll have all kinds of other tips for automating. So thanks so much for being here, and hopefully we'll see you soon.